Hello, welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. Zack and Alex are finally back with you. I know our listeners yesterday, we put them through so much anxiety, through so much mental turmoil because we didn't upload yesterday.
Where are the gays?
Where are the
They just
gays?
needed the gays. Where the hell we go?
How am I supposed to form my own opinion about what happened in this weekend in NASCAR? Without my besties Zack and Alex, like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. I haven't eaten. I haven't slept. I haven't gone to work. Like, it's just. But you know what? We're back one day late. We're back one day late, and the real ones have actually gotten some extra Zack and Alex lately. Because Thursday night we had a little bit too much fun, but we had some fun on Taylor Kitchen's show Above the Yellow Line live. We did it live.
Man, that was so fun.
Live show on Thursday night. Oh my gosh. I knew it was going to be fun, but I didn't. We were laughing, crying at the end. Like, I don't think I've even laughed that hard on this podcast. I don't think I've laughed that hard.
No. That exceeded my expectations. Like, I knew we were going to have so much fun. I'm like, oh my God. I was nearly crying laughing. Like, it was great. No spoilers, but think of cavemen and Vince Welch. Those are the only clues you're going to get of why we started crying laughing.
And dogs.
And dogs. Who got the dog in them?
Like, y'all really need to actually watch that. It's up on their YouTube, I assume, right?
It's on the Toby Christie YouTube channel.
The Toby Christie.
If you go to the live tab on that channel. It should be the most recent one, or maybe she's done another stream, but it'll be there. You'll see our faces on it. It'll say with Zack and Alex.
If I remember to, I'll link
podcast logo
below if it's not YouTube, because YouTube doesn't let us have links right now because YouTube is great. Speaking of kind of YouTube, while Alex was gone yesterday, I decided, hey, let me make a bonus video, because if you didn't know, if you subscribe to us on Patreon, we are making bonus content. And I made a tier list of NASCAR drivers heading into 2024. Now, if you don't know, I am a big video game fan. I play a lot of Nintendo games, and one of them is Super Smash Bros. It's a fighting game, and traditionally in a fighting game, all the characters get ranked on a tier list on how good they are at the top, and then as you go down, it's they get worse and worse. So I wanted to do something like that for NASCAR without it being just playoff predictions, because I feel like that's too there's too many hard decisions to make, and I wanted to just genuinely see the field spread of how I see them. So the top tiers, the championship potentials, and then the guys making deep playoff runs, and it keeps going down. So really cool video. It was a half an hour long. Check it out. Subscribe to Patreon to see it now. If you can't subscribe to Patreon, it will be on YouTube sometime in a bit. Maybe next week.
We haven't decided on a timeline, but probably within a week.
Yeah. So thank you to our Patreon subs, and I hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, and we got more on the way. Yeah. So we were just talking about making some next week. So yeah.
And I do want to go back to the Taylor Kitchen thing we did on the Toby Christie channel. That was our pre-season predictions for NASCAR. This year, we decided we're not going to do preseason prediction episodes for the pod. For one, because we did the show with Taylor Kitchen. So if you're looking for our preseason predictions, not only can you watch the Patreon video Zack made, but you can also go over there and check that out. Not only is it really funny, but I think we had some really good discussion.
It was fun.
We all made around 6 to 10 predictions each. It was a lot of fun.
Everyone had a Brad Keselowski prediction, which was really funny. We've covered the whole spectrum. He's gonna go winless. He's gonna miss the playoffs. He's gonna be in the Final Four.
Yep.
It was funny.
It was great. So go check out both of those guys. So worth it.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So but yeah, let's get into what we're talking about today. We're talking about the Clash at the Coliseum. And I hate how everyone's been potentially the final. It's just taking so much. I don't know. I feel very conflicted with this event because, and Alex, let's get the elephant out of the room. The elephant. That's not the phrase. I'm just kicking the elephant out. Screw it. So Alex, you were supposed to go to the Clash, but of course, as we know, the Clash got rescheduled to the day before.
Yes.
Which I guess we'll talk about this before we even get into the race, to be honest. it was a very unprecedented unprecedented move. God, I love that word. To move a NASCAR race to the day before. When I saw that on Twitter, I literally was verbally saying, "You can't do that." You know, you
Yeah,
can't
like
do that.
DW, you can't do that. Well, that was Benny Parsons. You can't do that.
You
Yeah,
can't do that. Like, I felt like that was so weird. NASCAR's never done that before, and obviously it affected people. I mean, Alex, you did not go to the Clash at all
correct.
because
Yeah,
you were in town
contrary.
for other things as well.
Yeah, so contrary to what I said last week, I did not go to the Clash. I had tickets.
So you lied to
So I
me.
lied, I guess. I lied. Here's my apology. Um, but no, I was at Disneyland Saturday when the weather in LA was like perfect. It was like 60 degrees. It was like, just gorgeous. I was screaming my head off at Cars Land. I grew up with cars. I had such a good time. I was just telling Zach all about that. Um, so I was not leaving Disneyland. No.
No.
NASCAR, no. Nuh-uh. So what happened was I'm in line for the Cars ride that I was just telling you about, Zach.
Hmm.
And Jackson, our friend Jackson Todd, messaged me and is like, "Hey, Denny Hamlin just tweeted this thing saying, stay tuned. They can race tonight." And I'm like, okay, he's probably trolling. He's probably being sarcastic, meaning the heat races, because those are today. But then maybe like 10 minutes later, NASCAR announced that they were rescheduling it for Saturday night, which was 4 hours after that announcement,
Yeah.
mind you. Um, and look, the forecast was really bad Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all in LA. Like that, it had been like that for a couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, you can find any
So
other racing podcast right now, and they explain the entire situation on why we could not race after
yeah,
Saturday. I'm not here to
yeah,
argue that either. I'm not like
right.
they made the
But
right call in my opinion. Kind of.
I think I can give the perspective of someone who was supposed to go to it. But it's just like Disneyland costs a lot of money. My aunt paid a lot of money for that, so I wasn't gonna leave Disney to go to that, especially when they were offering refunds, which is good. For everything, the parking, ticket, everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't go, but the main thing that frustrated me was they had so much time to do this call, right? And I know they're probably hoping like maybe it'll get better. And it had gotten better, mind you. It was like looking really bad. Like even Saturday had rain for quite a while. Um, and by the way, where I was at least is I went to Disneyland the second day too, because my aunt had bought 2-day passes to Disneyland. So it was just like, well, I ended up going second day. But where I was in Anaheim, didn't rain until like 4 p.m., 3 p.m. So what I thought was going to happen was that they would possibly move the Clash up to noon Sunday or even earlier because they would run at like 10 a.m. for like on a Monday, throughout the regular season. That isn't what happened. That's what I thought was going to happen. Um, so I was very shocked, and I believe they've their own policy that says we have to give a 24-hour notice of
Right.
any
Yes.
movement in the
Exactly.
schedule to help the venue and anyone going. So I was just very shocked
I
they're
guess
moving it
it's
whole. And I will say, I think it's
Mhm.
a good call.
Oh
Don't get me
yeah.
wrong. It sucks for anyone who is going, such as myself, but I don't know. I feel like they should still stick to that 24-hour window because the forecast looked bad all the time. Like if they would have said Friday night, hey, we are going to have the Clash tomorrow night on Saturday, I would have been there, you know?
Yeah.
And that sucks. I would have been there if
And
they
at least
announced as
like
just
even if they're
24-hour
letting
notice.
people in for free or whatever, which maybe I don't know how that would have worked. They probably
Hmm.
wouldn't have let people in for free at that point, I guess, if they announced the day before. But at least people that are able to are getting their money's worth. Not everybody, because some people are flying in on like Saturday night or whatever. But
Hmm.
I mean, for you, it would have worked, and I think that's a little bit better of a solution because again, I mean, everyone knew the forecast was bad. Now, the other side of that argument is that NASCAR, like canceling or rather moving the Clash and possibly losing so much money on like Sunday's events, that's a
Hmm.
big like that's a big bill that they just have to swallow now and eat, which Yeah, so it's like they wanted to wait till the last possible like second to make a hard call like that, get it moved off of Big Fox onto FS1. But no, I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of agree with you though. I feel like sticking to the 24-hour policy is probably the best move. I guess it's
Hmm.
kind of like Chicago, like that Xfinity Chicago race, where when you have these races not at permanent racetracks, you just kind of have to break your own rules. You kind of have to follow different procedures because
Yeah.
you're playing in someone else's. We are guests essentially in LA at Chicago, and that's okay. That's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with
Hmm.
that. I don't think this whole thing should be a negative kind of thing on the Clash. I don't want us to look back on the Clash and be like, wow, we had to completely move the race up a day because we wouldn't be able to stay there. There's so many more reasons why. I mean, the Super Bowl and Fox needing to get their cameras out and Daytona's coming up. The team, I mean, it was stupid, crazy rain. Like, we don't need to be in town when it's raining like that. But
Well, and think of like all the crew members, the TV people, just
yeah,
anyone who works in the NASCAR industry, they would have been stuck there for several days for no reason. They would have been away from their families. Just it, it's still the right call, but it's just frustrating
yeah.
for a
I mean, it's
fan,
kind of a
from a
lose
fan
lose.
perspective. But from yeah, it really is. But the from the industry perspective, I think it was the right call.
Yeah,
It's just from the fan perspective, next time stick to the 24-hour notice, even a 12-hour notice,
yeah,
honestly. Like if they would have announced this Saturday morning, I probably we probably would have made it.
yeah.
Like
But
I would have been at Disneyland, I think still, but it's just like, if they
yeah,
I
it
don't
is
know.
what it is. But I mean, everyone else this week has already talked about it, so I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but what I'm interested though is like, I want to see them do this more, and maybe it's
Hmm.
not moving the race up a whole day, right? But certainly for all these races that start at 3 and 4 and 5 o'clock, certainly you can start moving the race up to noon if it's going to rain in the afternoon. Certainly,
Yeah.
right? I think we need to start now that you did it once. I know it was an exhibition race and it's a rare circumstance, but to be honest, I don't care. I think they need to start moving these races up when weather gets like
Yeah.
this.
Because how many times have they sat on their hands doing nothing while a giant storm is coming at 4 p.m. green flag while it's bright and sunny at noon? How many
Yes,
times that happened?
it's
So many
happening
times.
way too much, and I don't think. And again, if you announce the night before, hey, the race, everything's going to get bumped up 3 hours, or this is getting canceled and the race is starting, whatever, people are going to show up. People are going to make plans to show up, especially if it's still the same day, right? It's better than, especially if it's one of those situations where like Monday's forecast also looks bad. So I really want NASCAR to start doing that more often, just not as extreme. Like, don't move it to the night before, like the day before, maybe, but start it
Mm.
earlier in the day if you have to. I'm sorry.
Well, and if you're gonna do the day, move it a day earlier, at least give a lot more notice because 4 hours is crazy. Because I was
Yeah,
standing at Disneyland for like at least an hour contemplating it. I was pretty set on no, I'm not going, but I'm also like, well,
yeah,
like it's still NASCAR, it's the Clash. Like they might not do this event. We're gonna talk about future of this event in the future or later in the episode. But it's just kind of like I was weighing the options, but it's just like I am having a lot of fun. I don't want to leave what I'm currently doing.
yeah.
So yeah.
I think you made the right choice, though. I mean, so, and we'll transition into talking about the race, which Alex obviously didn't watch. I was chilling. I was chilling right here on this chair, watching on TV. Um, and the race was pretty good. It wasn't like, anything mind blowing, but it was a pretty good race. It was a decent start to the
Yeah.
season. I know this might be a controversial take to say that because I feel like Twitter has like just they hate the Clash or they hate the LA Clash for some reason. I think
Yeah.
I don't know, negativity spreads on Twitter like fire. But no, I mean, I think the thing with the Clash, I think what gets people is that the racing at the very front of the pack is normally really good. It's just everything that's happening behind it gets kind of stupid. However,
Yeah.
it did not get as stupid as it did last year. There were definitely less
Good.
cautions. There was longer green flag stretches. It was interesting to see Ty Gibbs run away with it.
I
And
read that.
this is another thing about this event, especially here at the LA Clash. you see the absolute best drivers in the sport at the front fighting for the win.
Yeah.
The best drivers and the best teams. Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch. Who am I missing? I
don't
mean,
know,
William
but
Byron wasn't
Kyle
really
Busch,
that up front. Is he even a
Kyle
star?
Busch got podium all years of this event.
Yeah,
I think
which is cool.
that's a big statement. That says a lot.
I mean, we had the stars of the sport fighting it out for this race. It's Ty Gibbs and Joey Logano getting mad at each other, right? So many drivers getting mad at each other. I mean, I was entertained. For a kickoff to the season, even with the weather being affected or the weather affecting everything, I'm satisfied as a fan. I thought that was really good. I enjoyed myself. I don't know what else you can really want. I just think people get really negative over this event, and I don't necessarily understand it. But
right,
and it was the length. It didn't drag on. It dragged on a
quick.
little bit at the end because like the cautions got a little bit too heavy at the end. But at the same time, the restarts were really interesting. Drivers kept like shoving each other up the track so they wouldn't get pinned or vice versa, and it was pretty cool when we saw Ty Gibbs. And I mean, we'll talk about kind of Gibbs and Logano now, but Gibbs, he got pushed around a little bit Saturday night. He had the fastest car, no doubt. He could pull away from the pack, but he was getting bullied on those restarts, and I think that's going to be a theme that we're going to see this year. And again, another reason I like this race, it's kind of foreshadows some things. And I think it's going to foreshadow Ty Gibbs getting pushed around by a Mr. Logano.
Which is crazy, can I just say? Because Ty Gibbs reminds me so much of young Joey Logano. Like, we're kind of seeing history repeat itself. And for it to be Joey Logano, the veteran, going up to him, that is so cool.
That is rich. That is rich as hell because Joey Logano almost has no right to talk to Ty Gibbs about how to race against somebody, to be honest.
And I saw a clip. Ty Gibbs was like, well, I've seen you race or something. I've watched you forever. You race the same way. Like something like that. I don't know the exact quote. But I was like, that is so interesting. Because like Ty Gibbs was kind of grew up watching Joey Logano drive the same way. And Logano's like, well, you can't drive like that. It's just like,
what? But so Joey
I don't
has
know what
this,
happened.
Here's the story. It's like Joey has this is the lore. Joey has this whole attitude about, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. I don't care. This is how I am. I've won 2 championships, blah, blah, blah. Well, now the Jackson Storm and Ty Gibbs is coming up now and is doing the same thing to you. And now you have a problem with it because listen, here's the thing. And if you hate Ty Gibbs, whatever, but Joey is mad at Ty Gibbs because he knows Ty Gibbs is a threat. He knows that Ty Gibbs is going to beat him in some races this year. Ty Gibbs is going to win races this year.
Yep.
I'm betting money on it. Like, he almost won last year. Like, he's in a Gibbs car. It's going to happen. He's a different kind of young driver. We know this, right? So I'm interested to see how this develops because the whole thing's very ironic with it being involving Joey, but also, and it's also another JGR versus Penske driver conflict.
Yeah.
Logano's
had beef with like every Gibbs car since he's left.
And these two had beef last year. Remember at Martinsville, Logano just turned Gibbs for no reason, but we don't know the whole story. But
Matt Weaver did a piece about this deal. And I guess in the piece, Logano said that he's reached an impasse with Ty Gibbs. He doesn't know how to
I don't know what that means.
Talk to him further.
Impasse?
Basically just like a block. It's just like blocked. Kind of like a kidney stone. So just kind of like blocked and doesn't know how to continue navigating this little rivalry. He doesn't know how to like talk to him to get things like his point across.
Yeah.
And I guess Denny Hamlin's playing as a mediator. I don't know if I want Denny Hamlin getting involved. That's
I don't
gonna make
think
it
I
worse,
want Denny Hamlin telling me how to do really anything.
Yeah, because Denny don't like Joey either. What's going on here? But
I think Denny just needs to mind his business because things are going well for him. If you didn't notice, like,
So I might be wrong, but I think Joey reached out to Denny because like that's Denny's teammate is Ty, and they probably talked a lot as they've matured, Denny and Joey. But it's just like, and they've had their own issues, but it's just kind of like that's really interesting. That's gonna be a story to follow this year. I think Ty
yeah,
Gibbs is really gonna get more comfortable in a cup car, and like you said, Zach, he's gonna start winning. And these veteran cup guys are not gonna like it because he drives like a younger Joey
yeah,
Logano, a younger Kyle Busch. He's gonna be aggressive, just like we saw in the Xfinity Series, and that can be controversial. But I, that's just kind of how these guys. Ty Gibbs said it himself. That's how they watch these cup guys drive in the 2010s.
yeah, and yeah, and that's all I really got to say about Ty Gibbs. Like, I could go on about
Yeah,
like no matter. I mean, again, what he did at the Clash, it's not. No one can just do that. Not anyone can just do that. Like, it was the best of the best at the front of at the Clash. It really was. Like, so he's.
yep.
I don't know, but we'll see how it develops as the season moves. And then there are some other conflicts that we didn't get to see because Fox Sports sucks.
Who's shocked?
Do I get into the Fox rant now? Is that even like on the dock? Because Fox sucks.
Well, you can in a second, but I want to say Ricky Stenhouse got into
Oh,
it with Michael McDowell and he
girl.
hit him. And then Ricky Stenhouse also walked over to John Hunter Nemechek and yelled at him
And
during the break.
he pulled down his window net. Whew, that was hot.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
No,
Um,
that was hot. I want him to pull down my window
okay.
net. I'm gonna tell you right now. That was hot as mm, girl.
Anyway,
I
um,
wish Ricky Stenhouse would come over to me and tear my window net down, touch my helmet. He's touching his helmet. They were probably kissing in there. I don't know.
anyway, I'm going to get back on a plane. I'm out. I'm out.
Well, you went to California and then you came back gay, so I don't know.
Hmm, fair. I mean, what you just said was pretty damn gay, so I don't know.
It's just about racing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm. Okay. Let's ask the audience. What do they
Listen,
think?
I just want Ricky Stenhouse to tear down my window net. That's all I want.
You are the only person who thinks that.
It was
Anyway,
hot. Listen, like and subscribe if you thought that was hot. I'm
okay.
sorry.
So Fox sucked. You're
Okay, this
really?
isn't hot.
I'm
Fox
shocked. Tell
isn't
me
hot.
more.
Slay of the week, Ricky Stenhouse. Flop of the week, probably the year, Fox Sports. Listen,
First of the year for Fox Sports. Give it up for Fox. First flop of
I
the
don't want
week
to see
for
another
Fox.
damn child
First of
ever.
many.
Um, inside joke. Like the amount of kids I have to see on this Fox broadcast is traumatizing me. Another inside joke.
Oh my
But
God.
like, dude, the track is as big as my iPhone. How are you missing stuff?
Oh man.
Because they're so zoomed in. It's stuff that I don't even need to say because you've already seen it on Twitter. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, how much complaining is it going to take? Or is it, I mean, that obviously that doesn't work because it just makes Mike Joy get on Twitter
Mad.
and
Yeah.
do, I don't want to say how I want to say this,
You
but
know,
he sucks up to, Fox, obviously, because he works for them. But
my favorite part of this, I was at Disney scrolling, seeing everyone be mad at Fox, being like, oh my God, Fox sucks still. I can't wait for NBC. Same thing. We do this every year. But it's also like Mike Joyce says, yeah, tell us all your feedback. Like we'll really take it into consideration. I'll pass it on. Then they double down more every year.
yeah,
Every single year,
the
they double
comic
down
book
more
things
and
are
more and more.
still here, which I'm not surprised because the
And
NFL had it, but still, like,
yeah, I don't think those are going away until they change their TV graphics package. But I just can't help but laugh because Fox has been like this, gets worse
it's
every
getting
year. And then they
worse.
just got renewed. So they're not at risk of losing the TV
Oh
contract. They're
my
just going to
God.
keep doubling down
It's
because
embarrassing.
they're getting what they want.
Yeah.
So
And again, it's a
I don't know.
multifaceted issue, kind of. Like, the
Mhm.
production is just really bad. They need to rethink the entire thing. I don't know what's so hard about zooming at the camera. I really don't. I just don't get it.
Do
And
they not know the rule of thirds? Like that's a common practice in television. You have to have the rule of thirds, and they
yeah,
just zoom all the way in.
it's so
It's
bad.
like this is not a good product.
Yeah, and everyone knows
I
how
get
bad
it.
it is. It's not like it's a niche kind of opinion. It's everyone. I don't know, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of it's kind of killing my vibe for the beginning of the season because normally
Hmm.
it takes me to at least like the Daytona 500 and seeing all the commercials for me to like remember how bad Fox is. But no, I couldn't even make. We haven't even made it to Daytona, and I'm already sick of Fox. Like that's bad. And Kyle Busch or Brad Keselowski could finally win the Daytona 500 with like a four wide pass on the last lap, and Mike Joy is still going to be asleep in the booth.
Mm.
Sorry, that's just
I
that's just
really
what I
wonder.
think.
I really wonder if this ain't Mike Joy's last year. Has he announced? He hasn't announced that?
I
No,
kind of
because
hope
this is
it
the
is
last year of like.
because he don't
This is
got
the
the
last
dog in
year of
him.
everyone's contracts. I'm pretty sure everyone's contract lines up with
It'd be nice if like
TV.
I
So,
don't know they could get literally anybody else. Like it's just Mike's getting too old for this. I think he's not. He doesn't got that dog in him.
well, I I don't want to stick on Fox too long. We've talked about this so many times, but
I
it's
know.
also like they pulled Larry Mack out and it just ruined the Fox booth. All the chemistry went out the window. I really do think if they put Larry back in, at least it'd be a little better,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
because Larry, Mike, and Daryl's chemistry was just unmatched. I think Larry, Mike, especially, was just unparalleled, perfect chemistry. Then they took Larry out, and it's just been downhill since. Eh,
I
like,
wonder
how was Kevin Harvick? Was Kevin
what's
Harvick good?
he was so good that I didn't notice him.
Okay,
Like I had nothing to say
honestly,
because he did exactly what
that's
he
good.
needed and I expect. Yeah, so I think it's good that I have nothing to say because he was exactly how you expect. Amazing. Clint
Good.
Clint took his medicine. Like
Okay.
I think. Yeah, he did. Sorry, that was. I take medicine every day. Please don't be offended. But um, like, remember when Kevin said that he's gonna make sure that like his feedback is heard?
Mm-hmm.
Did he see how zoomed in those cameras were?
I
Come on, Kevin,
hope
start
so.
speaking, start talking.
Well, at the Clash, you don't need to be looking at those cameras too much. You can look out the
That's
window. When they get
true.
to Daytona, we might hear Kevin Harvick yelling again at the producers.
I hope
I'm
so.
hoping
I hope
Kevin
like
Harvick yelled at those Fox
here's
producers
my
one time.
dream.
He's my
My
hero.
my dream is
Hmm.
at the duels, the camera works really bad, but then like Kevin's like yelling at them, and then by the time we get to the 500 on Sunday, it's pretty good. That's my dream right
Hope
now.
so.
So
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, we talked
but
about the
we'll see.
race. We talked about. I guess what's left is to talk about the future of the Clash because,
Yeah,
um, excuse me, but it's heavily rumored that this is the last year of the Clash. There's rumors about going to Mexico, to Guadalajara, wherever
yeah,
that
and
is. I don't know.
Mexico City is another one that's been talked
Would
about.
that be like a stadium or the F1 track or both? Because there's a stadium in the
I don't
F1 track.
I don't think anyone knows.
I mean, I think. Well, I think that would be cool. So, and there was a concept floating around on Twitter where, and you kind of put who said it, where the All Star race serves a purpose and the Clash is serving a different purpose, even when
Yeah.
they kind of are doing the same thing. They were doing the same thing for a while, but now they're kind of doing two different things.
Yeah, so the future of the Clash is really interesting. And I think I like the idea, if that's what they're gonna do, is do something for 3 years and then change it up. I like the idea. Um, I thought originally they were gonna do like go to different stadiums across the country, but if they're gonna do Mexico, that's still cool because they're going to a different audience, right?
Yeah,
Um,
taking
so if
NASCAR
that's what they're,
somewhere that
yeah,
it's never really been like that, and everyone raves about the Suzuka exhibition race they had once. Well, the
yeah.
Clash is the only opportunity they're ever going to do that with our schedule. You know?
So yeah, I like the idea of the Clash kind of being the future of the sport while the All-Star race kind of looks back at the past. So I think doing North Wilkesboro, maybe they'll do North Wilkesboro for 3 years and they'll go back on the points schedule again sometime. And then maybe they'll go like to Rockingham next or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe
but
do
I
like
really
a
like the
dirt track or
idea.
something.
Yeah, I like really like the idea of the Clash kind of going into new places and just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. Because like a stadium race, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and go into Mexico City. That'd be really cool. Like you said, go back to Japan. That'd be really
I mean,
cool. Like
it's like the
just these
Super
different
Bowl. The Super
things.
Bowl goes to a different city every year. The Olympics go
Yeah.
to different cities every 4 years. I think NASCAR having an event like that is important. It's where I don't like people hating the Clash. I think it's okay that we can leave the Clash in LA. People hate the LA Clash. I think it's okay that we can leave LA. Maybe not
Hmm.
forever, but for now, we can go back one day.
Yeah.
Leave the Clash or leave the LA and go to Mexico. Maybe go to somewhere overseas. I saw someone put Twin Ring Motegi, which I
Hmm.
would like to see actually. But then there's like a part of me, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, a boomer opinion, but
Hmm.
I miss Daytona Speedweeks for what it was and what it did to build up to the Daytona 500. It was
Yeah.
the biggest week in NASCAR. Like it was a
Yeah.
it felt like a festival just from watching it on TV.
Like Speed Channel was popping
Oh
every
my
single day.
god, and
Oh my
it's
gosh.
not coming back, but man, I miss it. And
Yeah.
the Clash at
I get
Daytona
it.
had some soul back then. I don't think people realize like the 15-year-olds that grew up with the Sprint Unlimited or even just the modern
Blood
like
Shootout.
advanced auto parts Clash at Daytona, like you don't even know.
Yeah.
You don't even know,
Yeah.
man. Like seeing like here's an example. Seeing like the 2011 Speed Weeks and seeing the strategy of the two-car tandem develop over Speed Weeks was so
That was
magical and
so
so
cool.
interesting. It was
Yes.
so interesting. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
And I liked that, like, if you got a poll throughout the season, you got in, and that was the way. Maybe they could bring that back,
yeah.
honestly.
I like how
But
exclusive
I
it
get it.
was. Yeah.
Yeah. I get why you'd want everyone in, especially for events like LA and possibly Mexico and everything. But I don't know.
I mean, they're
It
complaining
made
about that with LA.
it feel more important,
Yeah.
like Clash. So I agree with you. I just don't see them doing
It's
it
not
again.
going to
Maybe they'll
happen.
do it.
Well,
Maybe
they
they'll do it 1 year, but it's just kind of like because those last few years were pretty bad.
well,
They
hell,
weren't really trying hard. They didn't want to crash, and then 2020 they kept crashing. I don't know.
they can't even
I
give
don't see
them
that
damn
happening.
practice before the duels.
Right.
Like, if they can't even do that, then yeah, I don't want them to do a clash because they obviously don't care. I don't know. It's just I miss it. I want it to come back, and it's like having qualifying on a Wednesday night for the biggest race of the year just seems like an insult to me.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Like I loved it when it was a Clash Saturday, then qualifying on Sunday. That was
It
so
was a
cool.
vibe. And like I even
Yeah.
saw like Iceberg made a video where it's like you could still have Daytona 500 qualifying like on Super Bowl Sunday. Just have it early in the
Hmm.
day.
Yeah.
Like
Why not?
it's not that it's not
Why
that
not?
hard. People will
Yeah.
people aren't spending the entire day waiting for the Super Bowl doing nothing. Like come on.
Yeah.
Um
You'll probably get a lot of viewers if you did that, honestly. It's like, well, what are we gonna watch? The pregame for 6 hours? Like some people probably would.
yeah.
But it's just like, oh look, Daytona 500
And
qualifying. I'll put
you
that
might
on.
already have people over for the Super Bowl and they're like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
NASCAR? Oh yeah, the big races
Yeah.
next week. Oh, I should watch it next week."
And then because it's single car qualifying, they'd be like, oh wow, Kyle Busch still races? Brad Keselowski? I remember when he won that race that Carl Edwards
Does
flipped in,
Jeff Gordon
you
still
know?
race? Does Jeff Gordon still race? What about
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Does he still race? Yeah, that's funny.
The guy who replaced Dale Earnhardt's in the booth? That's crazy. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
there is a lot of potential for that. But
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna clash. I don't think the clash will come back. I would love to see qualifying back on Sunday. I agree. Um,
yeah. It's just how do
yeah.
you fill up
TLDR,
two weekends of Daytona?
TLDR. I like what their NASCAR's doing with the Clash and the All-Star race. I just hope, they kind of continue this trajectory of it. Don't listen to the fans that are whining about it. That's such a loud minority. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's a huge deal. Like I know the crowd didn't show up on Saturday. Well, 4 hour notice.
obviously
Duh.
the race
But like
was
the
the
other
next
two
day.
years were the first 2 years had really solid crowds, I think, and it brought in a whole different audience. And if you're
It
gonna
was
keep doing
cool.
that, let's say every 3 years, I love it. And then
Yeah,
the All-Star race that can communicate with your diehard fans, your long-term fans. Go to North Wilkesboro, go to Rockingham, do these other small tracks, kind of replace what SRX did. 'Cause SRX isn't
ooh,
running this year. Do something like that with the All-Star race every year. I think that would be the best way to do it. And it's also, if you don't want to, just get rid of them and let these teams and drivers have 2 extra weekends at home because they don't really get many.
Yeah.
So if you just want to end the debate, just get rid of them. But like
Yeah.
I'd hate to see that, but I don't know.
Yeah. And that's another pro of like the Clash going back to Daytona. Then they don't have to travel to somewhere like crazy,
Right.
but whatever.
Other side of the country.
One last thing. I love the
Hmm.
qualifying for the Clash because they had to scrap the heats and stuff.
Hmm.
So what happened is they had like 6 little qualifying groups and there was a cut line. If you were below the cut line, you don't make the show. Only one person below got a provisional. It was based on points. Blaney ended up getting it because obviously he was the champion. Big names did not make the show. Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher. He's been pretty fast. Who else didn't make the show? I feel like someone else pretty big didn't make it. Truex got close. Josh Williams was one spot away from making it in. My point is, it was cool. It was so fun. It was probably the most fun qualifying session that I'm going to watch this year. Again, I love a good qualifying session. Session. And man, it was so cool just seeing actual stakes and like drivers getting eliminated. I want to see it more. It's just I don't know how you put it into a normal weekend because you can't.
Right.
I mean, you can't. It's just that's
Good
not
point.
how normal races work. There's no reason to eliminate drivers if there's no reason to. So, but I just wanted to give a shout out to how awesome that qualifying session was. So,
Yeah.
hope to see more stuff like it.
And now let's transition into the tea. We have a lot of F1 tea. It's a very hot serving of the tea here, you guys. Like this has been spilt all over. Like get ready.
They did
If you
spill a
don't,
lot of
I'm
tea
sure
last week.
you all know the news, but first I want to start with the news that dropped first. Andretti Global's Formula One bid was denied by Formula One. They will be reconsidered again when the GM engine is ready. And it says until 2028 is when they'll be reconsidered.
I think that's right.
Huge news.
Did you go off of what
It
I
is right.
wrote? Okay, good.
I got fact checked.
Alex is my fact checker.
And y'all can fact check me. I'm positive. I'm pretty sure.
No, I
that's
think you're
correct.
right. That's why I said I'm pretty sure.
And then the most like controversial thing that was said in all this was that Formula One said that Andretti benefits more than actual Formula One itself would with Andretti joining grid. And that was a reason that they said no. But for me, that's kind of nonsense.
Mario
because,
Andretti was literally in cars.
And it's Andretti.
Michael Schumacher was only in the post credits. I'm just saying.
True.
And Alex knows all about
That's how we
cars.
determine it.
I mean, it's Andretti. Like, what do you need? I don't
The
get
Andretti
it.
name. People know Andretti. People know that name.
That's ridiculous.
It's used in movies. I'm going as fast as Andretti would. Stuff like that. It's in movies. Like, it is synonymous with racing. And yet you're like, well, the Andrettis are going to benefit more than we would.
Oh, but Haas brings a lot to F1.
Yeah, and that's like teetering on being an American team. This is like an actual American team. You're trying to grow in America, yet you're denying them entry, even though they bring
put
so
blood,
much
sweat,
publicity
and freedom into their F1 cars, and you denied them.
And look, I've clowned on Michael Andretti before, and Andretti in IndyCar, rightfully so, I think. But it's just like they would work really, really hard. I think they would contribute way more than Haas does.
Yeah.
I think they would, I don't know about right away, but I think eventually they'd become a mid-tier team, right? Like around like Alpine and
it's F1,
teams like that.
Who even cares?
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's
exactly.
An American team being that good, like when Haas finished 5th in constructors or whatever, like that was a pretty big deal.
Andretti got a lot of money. They've been don't they have a Formula E team?
Yeah.
And they are partnered
and they're
with
part of the
IMSA
Wayne Taylor
teams.
Racing.
Yeah, like what else do they need to do?
Like, I kind of hope they go all in on NASCAR because F1 said no. NASCAR would welcome in big time. And I mean, they already kind of have the groundwork there because they're kind of partnered with Spire because Marco Andretti's run some races with them.
Yeah. I'd like
And
to see
Gainbridge
them
is already
inspire.
there,
I'd like to see them dump money into Spire and see what happens. That would be cool.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Colton Herta has been trying to run NASCAR. He said in the offseason he tried having a Daytona 500 ride. He couldn't get one.
No way.
He and Hurt,
What?
yeah.
That's like
There's some tea for you.
that's like the opposite of
Um,
Justin Haley saying that he had multiple Indy 500 offers. That might be
but
quote
then
of the year.
Herta also said he wanted to do the Eldora truck race. He couldn't get anything to work out. But like if Andretti got in, that'd be a pathway for Herta to easily do that.
I'm sure
And you
he
might
could
see more
find an Xfinity
transition.
ride if he
You'd
looks hard
probably
enough.
see more drivers do
Yeah.
the double
Right.
as well. So there's just a lot of possible crossover that NASCAR would love. They would be like, "Oh yeah, come on in." Like I know they have a charter system, but they'd find a way in. It's Andretti.
Yeah.
They have so much money. F1, they're like, "Well, you don't bring enough to the table." Like, are you
Well,
kidding?
hell, the charter system is having trouble getting renewed.
Yeah, I've been following that. I don't know what to think of all that. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
that's why we're not talking about it today because it's like brain spaghetti. But um,
So yeah,
whatever.
I don't know. Like I don't we talked a lot about the Andretti stuff, mainly with the drivers they were trying to get because they wanted to do Colton Herta, and we don't agree with that part. But I think Andretti deserves a spot on the F1 grid, like easy. But
Yeah, I don't like how
I don't know.
pretentious
May,
F1 is being with the whole thing. Like,
yeah,
it's like they
maybe
really
they
don't want
should
an
have
11th seat.
thrown. Maybe they should have thrown Gainbridge into the title of their name because like you have Visa Cash App in F1. You have Stake. I don't even know what Stake is. Stake F1 team. That's an F1 team now. Haas, that's a sponsor technically. Like you know,
It's a little
just
silly.
throw in Gainbridge Andretti Global, something. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll help. But I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about that before we move on?
It's disappointing, but also I kind of don't really care because it's F1. Like, and also Andretti's not exactly lighting up IndyCar right now.
It's a fair
So,
criticism.
I mean, I don't know, and that's kind of their home. So it's like maybe before you try to be Roger Penske, let's cover your bases first. That's my only criticism
Good
towards
point.
Andretti in this whole situation. More F1
And
news.
then
If you didn't hear,
yeah,
I woke up. Alex told me this when I woke up one morning. Saw it on a text. Lewis Hamilton is going to Ferrari in 2025.
thought
And I
those
know
were
you didn't.
fake.
You already heard about this. There's no way you didn't already hear about this. And we talked about it a little bit on Taylor's show. And that was a funny conversation because I forgot who was it. One of them was a Ferrari fan.
Dom.
Dom. It
Dom
was
was a
Dom. Dom would, like, he had his
Ferrari
Ferrari
fan.
gear. He had like diecast. It was funny. He did a whole bit. But
You
for
gotta
real
watch
though,
that. So good.
Ferrari fans everywhere are like, they kind of feel like revitalized because this might be what Ferrari needed. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I personally
Hmm.
think it's really cool because Ferrari was kind of my favorite team for a while. I don't know why, just because
Hmm.
I liked the bright red, I guess. But then it became Mercedes because I really liked Lewis. Like I have this poster behind me. I liked Lewis. I liked what he was doing for activism. He was cool. I grew up watching him dominate anytime I watched F1. I thought the
Yeah.
teal with the Patronus was really cool. But my other favorite driver was also Charles Leclerc because I think he's cute. That's
Hmm.
literally it.
Same.
Literally it. But now they're going to be teammates at Ferrari,
That's
and I'm like, I'm like kind of excited now. So I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be good. I'm excited. So
yeah.
Ferrari's gonna be my team in 2025. I'm gonna tell you what. God,
Yeah.
I kind of hope Lewis can
So
get like one more last victory with Mercedes. I think that would be cool, but it's F1.
that'd be very cool. Yeah. And Lewis joins a big illustrious list of drivers who've raced Ferrari. Like that's so cool. And I'm assuming this is mainly just like a bucket list item for him that he's just like, I want to race for Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean he's Lewis
And
Hamilton. He
like
can do what he wants.
and we've talked about this rumor, I think it was last year, early
Yeah,
last year. There's a rumor that he was talking to Ferrari. And it was just like, well, that's probably not going to happen. He's going to stay at Mercedes till he retires. But this is a multi-year deal. Like it's not like it's a one and done either. It's a multi-year deal. So we're gonna have Lewis Hamilton in F1 for at least through 2026, which is crazy because people thought he was going to retire in 2020, 2021. We're going to be half a decade past that once it comes
It's
to
like
that.
Martin Truex. It's like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
year. This year's the year he's retiring. Nope.
Yep. No boat yet. But
Yeah.
no, this is really, really cool. I don't, if I'm a Ferrari fan, I'm hesitant because I don't know if much of anything can really help because they've had Vettel go there right after his Red Bull dominance. It didn't, he almost won a championship, but did not. Uh, I don't know. They need to figure out their personnel and the strategy at Ferrari. Then maybe we'll see.
Well, they have some bold new strategies to
Mm.
improve I guess the relationships with their drivers from what I can see,
Yeah.
which isn't enough. I can't see enough. So Ferrari tweets today that they are edging
Mm.
closer and closer.
Oh.
I don't know what they're edging to. Hopefully it's the car reveal that's next week. They didn't exactly specify. And they show a picture of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz sitting right next to each other on a couch. The camera is behind the couch. I don't see their hands. I don't know. They're in front of a TV. Listen.
Yeah. I'm listening. You got it. What you gonna say?
I don't really have much to say because I think we know what's going on here. And I'm not trying to be gross at all.
Oh,
But what
I'm
were they
sure.
thinking?
This is like you got Team Penske to like edit a tweet a few weeks ago. Do you remember that?
Because they
This
said
is like when
something.
you
Because they said something that like Joey Logano.
I forget what it was, but you made him edit the tweet.
I made them edit the tweet because I can't shut my mouth. You know, I think they should have them practice taking each other's window nets down. That's all I think they should
Oh
do.
God, not the window nets again.
They should just practice taking window. I know in case they want to go to NASCAR one day.
Hmm. Okay.
Anyways, that's tweet of the week.
Congratulations, Ferrari.
I mean, the comments are so funny.
Oh, I bet. So, are you done with the bit? Are we moving on?
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, let's edge
Okay.
on to our next our
Oh, girl. Okay. So, this broke today. ESPN,
Did it release?
Fox, and Warner Brothers, which is TNT. Zach is just giggling away.
I'm literally
Those three
12.
companies are collaborating on a new sports streaming service, which will
so-
launch this fall.
Oh, it's releasing next year. Okay, so we have to wait a little bit. Okay.
This fall in
This fall.
2024.
Oh, that's sooner than I
Yeah.
thought. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
they're going to release a little sooner than expected. So this is interesting, and this has big NASCAR implications due to the new TV contract, because both Fox, unfortunately, and TNT are a part of the upcoming TV deal that starts next year. But ESPN, Fox, and TNT Sports, it sounds like it's just sports content from these three, all on one big thing. And I find this interesting because one, Fox does not have a streaming platform right now for their sports content at all. And TNT has their own with like the Bleacher Report stuff, which is what NASCAR is going to be on. And they also have HBO Max.
Yeah.
And ESPN has ESPN Plus. So I'm curious how this is going to work. Like, are they all going to merge into ESPN Plus? Are they all going to merge into Bleacher Reports thing? Or how's this going to work?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gonna be interesting, but pros, I have one pro and I have one con.
Okay.
A pro is that streaming for Fox races is going to be a thing next year. That's a really big thing, I think, because that's a huge positive because Fox, you can't stream these. You can only watch it on television right now. And that's in this day and age, that's
Oh, that's
ridiculous.
I see. So it's more accessible to a younger audience, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's I don't like I feel like you can argue both ways because there are people that still have cable packages and especially people that watch sports, they have cable packages because you need that to watch most
Yeah.
sports.
But like it'll still be on those stations.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just like it'll now be simulcasted onto streaming.
Well,
I'm assuming.
it depends.
Maybe it won't be.
I mean, maybe, a few Fox races and then the rest are on,
Right.
whatever, ESPN Deluxe double featuring Fox, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Who knows? But the con is that this is basically just cable again. Uh,
they're reinventing
streaming's
cable.
streaming's purpose is kind of redundant now because now we're
It
just
is
back
getting
to
a little
cable.
ridiculous now, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. This is interesting, something to follow. If these races can be streamed for Fox, like the NASCAR races can all be streamed on this whatever this is going to be. Uh, Big win for NASCAR overall.
Yeah.
But grand scheme of things, not great. But yeah, big news.
Yeah. I think it'll have to be something to follow. But
Yeah.
you said kind of what I would have said, so I don't have anything to add on that.
Yeah. So, Zach, we also have in here that there are 50 cars entered for Daytona for the ARCA race. You wanted to say something
Yeah.
about it?
I have a surprise announcement actually.
Oh, okay.
I have bought us an ARCA car and we are going racing at Daytona, Alex.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
With what money?
Our Patreon money, of course.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
Wow, thanks, guys. Look what we're doing. We're putting your money to good use.
We're gonna put y'all's names on the deck lid. We're gonna I'm gonna drive it. Alex is gonna be the crew chief.
Oh, okay.
It's okay though. I don't know how to drive the car, but it's okay because we're probably not gonna make the show anyways. We're just going for fun. We're going for the Instagram
We're
pics.
just- Oh, yeah, it's for the gram.
It's for the gram.
You know, I don't know. Like maybe do you think you can beat Shane Van Gisbergen in the ARCA race?
Dead ass. Listen, I could if I'm in the ARCA race. I know I'm not finishing last. I know I'm not finishing last.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what right
Yeah.
now. I feel I that is my toxic trait. I feel like I could enter an ARCA race and not finish last.
Right.
Isn't that bad?
At Daytona, especially
At
Daytona.
Good lord.
You know, I've ridden in a car with you before. When you were driving. Like I think you could do good.
Oh yeah.
You're not a reckless driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it.
And
I
then
played
I'm
NASCAR
smart.
Heat.
I can crew chief.
You can crew
Yeah.
chief. Exactly. You will
Yeah.
keep me level headed, as you always
Oh.
do.
That'll be fun.
Yes. Exactly. The gay. What's our team
Yeah.
going to be called? The gay racing.
Team. The gay racing team.
All right. The gay racing team. All right.
Plain and simple.
That's somehow worse than
Great.
like the name Money Team.
Ironically, straight to the point. Just right
Oh,
to
you're
it.
Funny. Well,
Cool. So look forward to that.
look forward
That's
to that.
totally happening.
But for real though, 50 cars for an ARCA
That's cool.
field at Daytona. Like ARCA is back, baby. I'm excited. I'm gonna be watching that on Saturday.
We need Bobby Gerhart to come back out there, man.
Frank
Show
Kimmel.
him
Where's
who's
my man
boss.
Frank Kimmel? Get him out of what rocking
For
chair
real.
he's sitting in and he needs to get back in that car. Menard's gonna sponsor him and he's gonna win that race. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Period.
My legend Frank Kimmel.
All right.
God. I love ARCA.
So I guess we're gonna start wrapping up the show here. Let's talk about fantasy. I don't remember. I didn't look at who beat who, but
I
it
think
doesn't really
Joey-
matter
I think Joey beat.
Okay.
Let me double check right now, actually.
because I had Logano for the Clash, and you had Larson,
I did.
right?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
been
checking
over a
right
week ago since we made those picks, so I don't remember for sure.
now. Where are the results? I hate when it says results and then it doesn't show me the results. I literally like.
Are the results on Insta.com?
Okay, Joey got fourth, so yeah.
Okay, cool. We're not doing points for that,
Yeah.
even though maybe we should actually,
No.
right, Zach?
No, it's a non-points event.
Okay.
The integrity of Gay
So
Racing Podcast is at stake.
I will say though, Zach, you made a very pretty graphic with our pretty faces on it.
Yes.
So Slay of the Week to you, Zach, because that graphic, you worked really hard on it. It is very cute.
Yeah.
Look
Spice it
out
up a
for
little
that on
bit.
our socials at Gay Racing Pod. It'll be posted for every IndyCar and every NASCAR race. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very pretty. Check it out. And so for this week, we don't know for sure if we're doing an episode next week. We're
Yeah.
gonna see how much news drops
We're gonna come on
because
here,
like
say hi, and then log off. Like,
yeah, like who thought Lewis Hamilton was gonna do a Ferrari? Like if that dropped next week, we'd probably have an episode. But like
yeah.
if nothing crazy happens, we might not. We might just be working on like our bonus episode content for Patreon and YouTube. But we're gonna make some Daytona 500 poll predictions. And Zach said no points on this either. I think he just wants as little points as possible, so I don't beat
Well,
him as badly this
it's
year.
mostly
Is that
because
right,
it's
Zach?
stupid. I feel like Daytona 500
Stupid.
qualifying has just gotten so stupid. I don't know.
You were
And
just calling to put it on the day of the Super Bowl.
well, I know, right? But no, we're not doing points for it because
Okay.
it's different. It doesn't have its own weekend. If it had its own weekend, I would consider it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So I forgot to get a pen and paper. So redoing the thing where I look
Yeah,
up
you just
a.
pull up a picture, dude.
Okay. Well, I know who I'm picking.
I know who I'm picking
I
too.
gotta. I
Pull
gotta
it up.
Google it
I'm waiting on
real
you.
quick though. Hold on, it's loading.
Jesus. I wish it would load. Good
Trying.
lord.
Hold on.
It's all right. We've been
Oh, I
waiting
need
a
to.
whole day for you. It's all right.
I'm sorry. It's not loading. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, you ready?
I'm finding a cute picture.
Jesus
Well,
Christ,
let's see.
Alex. Just get a picture.
Okay. Okay.
Oh
This
my
isn't what I wanted, but it's a
God.
picture.
Dude, I just picked the first one I saw.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're probably going to match on it anyways. Turn your phone. Oh, we did
William
match.
Byron.
I picked Alex Bowman.
That was really high quality. Holy crap.
Mine's not.
Yeah. I'm going. So
You
we're
can tell
sticking
it's
with
Alex
Hendrick,
Bowman.
continuing their streak of this, right? Yep.
Has every Hendrick driver won the Daytona 500 pole? I think they have.
I think so. Isn't Bowman going? Bowman's streak ended last year, right? Or did he get another one?
I don't know.
I think Bowman had like a streak of like 3, 2
See,
in a row or
when you
something.
keep having qualifying on Wednesday nights, I forget it exists and then I don't watch it. So,
But yeah, I'm going with William Byron. No real reason. It's just going to be a Hendrick car again. I feel Chad Knaus puts his whole life into this every year, so
literally.
yeah.
Bro is up right now, like, working on that car.
Chad Knaus got into the Hall of Fame, but he's still working. Like he ain't ever stopping. But yeah, those are our picks for the 500 poll. If we don't see you before then, sorry.
Oh, well, then we got to make picks for the 500 next week, though, then. I just realized.
We'll figure it out.
Or we could just do it. We don't
we'll
have to
figure
do
out.
it on the show. We could just do it.
Well, since we have video now, we could just put it on TikTok. We just put it right on TikTok.
Fair enough.
Perfect.
All right. Or Twitter. Yeah, okay.
Or
okay. Fair enough.
Or just a graphic. Well,
All right.
You'll
All right.
you'll hear our picks one way or another. So
Okay.
let's conclude the show here. None of you left a 5-star review on Apple. That's okay.
Wow.
But if you'd like to, we'll read it out for you
That'd be nice.
on the show at the end of the
Please.
episode.
Please leave a 5-star
Pretty
review.
please. On Apple. You can also leave 5 stars on Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching over there.
Unless you're a
We'd really
child.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Actually,
If you're a
if you are a
child, go
child,
away.
please do actually, and then go away.
and then leave.
And
Press
then leave.
press like first and then go.
Yeah, then leave.
And then support us on Patreon. It's $5, as
I
we
shaved.
said earlier.
I shaved.
Zach shaved. You guys bought him a razor.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
listen, but my beard grows back fast, so
Real.
need more money.
But But yeah,
I like how that's
that's
just
5.
the bit. Like
That's a bit.
that's
We
just the
can't
bit
shave
with
if
the Patreon.
you don't subscribe.
Yeah, the less subs we get, the longer our beards will get. I'm gonna be looking
Oh my
like I'm
gosh.
from Duck Dynasty when the
We're gonna be
economy
looking like Martin
crashes.
Truex.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's like the opposite of a playoff beard.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, subscribe on Patreon if you'd like.
Check out my bonus video.
There
It
is
was really good.
yes, check out Zach's bonus
Alex
video.
hasn't even watched it yet
Uh,
because he's been busy.
I have it.
I was on a plane. I couldn't even watch it. All right.
I was on vacation. I was at Disney. But yeah, that's if you can't find it, it's patreon.com/gayracingpod. Follow us on all of our socials at Gay Racing Pod. That's Twitter, Instagram, Threads. Blue Sky is public for everyone now. If you want to go over there,
I still ain't gonna get
we're on
it.
there.
You would never pull me
TikTok.
off Twitter.
TikTok. I really want to try growing our TikTok, so follow us on TikTok.
Yeah,
pretty please.
Alex is
At
doing
Gay
a good
Racing
job
Pod.
with the TikToks.
And you can follow Zach at Dreamy. I about said at Gay Racing Pod.
You
At
are
Dreamy Zach
messed up.
Racing. At Dreamy Zach Racing. And I'm at Newgaden. And Zach, you can take us home.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening. We might be back next week. I don't know. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. Go Chiefs, right? Go Chiefs.
Yeah, go Chiefs.
Go Taylor. I really want the Chiefs to win because the Dude Bros will be mad about Taylor. So
yes.
go Chiefs.
Oh.
Go Chiefs. And we'll see you guys next time.